The future of work isn't about shareholder value, technology, metrics, or automation. It's about being human and putting people first through actionable love. Welcome to the Love in Action podcast, where we hold deep conversations with extraordinary people to help you grow as a leader and expand your business. Here's your host, Marcel Schwantes.
One morning, as I stepped out of the shower to get ready for work as an HR resident at a hospital, my lower back locked up completely and I crashed to the floor, paralyzed. So I crawled on my elbows in agonizing pain to grab the phone in another room. And my first call was to notify my preceptor, the CEO of the hospital, for that rotation of the program, and tell her that I was injured, that I wasn't coming in. In a state of panic, I pulled myself out of a major project that I was leading and telling her that I wasn't coming in to lead the project team. So on my back, writhing in pain, she accuses me of insubordination and refuses to acknowledge my physical condition and what was happening in the moment. So I knew this was the last straw. No matter how good my excuse, I was on the chopping block. And here's the kicker. After checking myself into the emergency department, the ER physician called my condition stress and anxiety related. So he explained that people may experience psychological distress as physical pain, a process known as somatization. The pain is real, but doesn't result from any physical condition or injury. It's stress-induced. So I spent a month laying horizontally, unable to move, and filed for work disability. And after a period of rehabilitation on my body, after some emotional healing from the trauma, I returned to the hospital to finish my 2-year residency program. I was about halfway through. As soon as I returned, the CEO began a witch hunt to get me fired unless I wrote her a letter of apology for my act of, quote, insubordination. I complied just to retain my peace of mind and eventually finished my residency and moved on. So that's the story that I'm including in my manuscript for my first book, which will be released fall of 2024. I promised some sneak previews of it for the Love in Action audience. I know many of you can probably relate. So I want you to think back to your career and the people challenges that you have faced. You know, most of us have been in varying degrees of boss to subordinate relationships, reporting to managers with different experience levels, different personality types, and different ways of seeing the world around them. And many of us were adversely affected by those work relationships and even may have lost our jobs. Perhaps our health declined as a result, or, we lost our dignity in the process. Or maybe it's been worse for you. So if you haven't experienced this scenario, you're probably due for a run-in with a boss who leads with an iron fist. Fear remains a prevalent way of managing in the 21st century, unfortunately, and often with unfortunate consequences, like in my case, having my back go out and being paralyzed for a month. So this is far from being the best way to lead human beings to give their best performance. Leaders have an enormous responsibility to take care of people entrusted under their care. Bob Chapman, the co-author of Everybody Matters and the CEO of Barry Wehmiller, a $2 billion global company, he reminded me in a conversation I had with him on this very podcast that every employee is somebody's daughter or son or someone's spouse or partner. And each person is relying on the leader for guidance to be taken care of. protected, and felt like they belonged to community. People want to experience purpose, growth, and success in their jobs and feel like their leaders are doing their best to care for people. That's really the bottom line. People want to feel cared for. But I call it for what it really is. People want to feel loved. So with this premise in mind, well, you may be curious, if not repulsed by the idea. Why write a business book about leading with love in such a loveless business world where, people are objectified as a means to a profitable end and where takers outnumber givers? I mean, why should we even care? I mean, it's business, Marcel, and this is how we conduct ourselves at work. Nothing personal. Get over it, right? Well, I beg to differ. Perhaps the question we should be asking is this: why do people in leadership positions lead in ways that are so unsuitable for how human beings are innately designed to want to experience work? Because we all want to experience positive emotions, whether in or out of work. So it's natural to assume that human workers in the workplace also want to experience positive emotions. So the answer to that question is a good starting point for the rest of my book. I explain that, love begins as a human development process in the brain as infants. And as we are exposed to positive bonding experiences in loving homes, we mature and hopefully grow up into healthy adults, but then we remain social animals, requiring the need to receive social and emotional stability through relationships and community. This is what makes up the best work cultures on the planet. Feelings of connection, belonging, psychological safety, teamwork, and close bonds are what makes the best work environments. So if you believe it, and if you create it, and if you reinforce it through those daily values every day, magic happens. I'm Marcel Schwantes, and my mission is to spread more actionable love and care in the workplace. To learn more about how I can help your leaders grow and thrive, the best way to do that is to bring me to speak at your company event or conference. You can find me on LinkedIn, Marcel Schwantes, or on my website, marcelschwantes.com.
Thank you for listening to the Love in Action podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share it, subscribe, and leave us a review. Until next time, don't forget, the future of leadership is love in action. Believe it, practice it, and watch your business grow.